Bihari. Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
ऐसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड श्री राधा कुंड श्री गिरि गोवर्धन की, ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की, मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगा मैया जमुना मैया की, भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirahe Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Thank you. Śrimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 10, Text number 14. Chapter is entitled The Divisions of the Creation. Sargo Navavidhas Tasya Prakrito Vaikritas Tu Ya Kaladravya Gunerasya Trividha Pratishankramaha Sargo Navavidhastasya Prakrito Vaikritastuya Kaladravya Guneryasya Trivida Prakita Sankramaha Sargo Navavidhastasya Prakrito Vaikritastuya Kaladravya Guneryasya Trivida Prakita Sankramaha Sargo Navavidhastasya Prakrito Vaikritastuya Kaladravya Guneryasya Trivida Prakrita Sankramaha Mataji. Sargaha, creation, Navvidha, of the 9 kinds of. Shri Radha Gokulanandi ji ki jai. I'm sorry for this, please. Navvidha of 9 different kinds. Tasya, its. Prakritaha, material. Vaikritaha, by the modes of material nature. 2. But. Ya, that which. Kala, eternal time. Dravya, matter. Gunai, qualities. Yasya, It's Trividha, three kinds, Prakriti Sankramaha, annihilation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. There are 9 different kinds of creations besides the one which naturally occurs due to the interaction of the modes. There are 3 kinds of annihilations due to the eternal time, the material elements, and the quality of one's work. Purport. The scheduled creations and annihilations take place in terms of the supreme will. There are other creations due to interactions of material elements which take place by the intelligence of Brahma. Later, these will be very explicitly explained. At present, only primary information is given. The 3 kinds of annihilations are: number 1, due to the scheduled time of annihilation of the entire universe; number 2, due to the fire which emanates from the mouth of Ananta; and number 3, due to one's qualitative action and reaction. Om Ajnantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauradvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Krishna Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this chapter that is entitled Divisions of the Creation, the 3rd canto, this particular verse describes, or rather is mentioning, about creation and annihilation. Very somewhat technical topics. 9 types of creation, 3 types of destructions. And we may wonder that, if the purpose is to develop love for Krishna, why do we really need to go through all these technicalities? Why is it that this particular details were spoken by Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj when he was just about to die in 7 days, and this could be the 2nd day? And it really gets technical as we go further. And for many of us, at least for me, we find it very difficult to understand many of these things. But once we know the ultimate purpose of Bhagavatam, then everything becomes very sweet, because we are, as devotees of Krishna, we naturally feel very attracted to Krishna's pastimes or Lord Ram's pastimes. It's definitely very attractive, right? But And those technical discussions, those discussions which give details about the creation, about the cosmic manifestation, may not necessarily, doesn't have to be that way, but may not necessarily be as attractive for us to understand. But if we know this, then why is this present here? Because, and to understand Krishna's glories, or rather to appreciate Krishna or to love Krishna, to get attracted to Krishna is the purpose. Krishna bhuliya jiva bhoga vancha kare nikataya mayastane chapatiya dhare. That we have been, Krishna bahirmukha jiva bhoga vancha. That we have been bahirmukh of Krishna. We have been looking away from Krishna since time immemorial. And the purpose of our sadhana, the purpose of our life is to again get attracted to Krishna, to re-establish our relationship with Krishna. So the word we use is re, that means there was a relationship which we have broken because we thought we wanted to do something different. So we have to again get attracted to somebody who is very attractive. But there is a serious problem because we are still attracted to bhoga vancha. We're attracted to enjoying separate from Krishna. But more and more we try to understand what is this personality Krishna, what all he does, what all he can do, what is his how he really functions, what are his glories, what is his greatness. Now we love to hear people's greatness, right? It's a natural inclination that great people want to hear about them. So, many times when we talk about creation of something, we go to the Eiffel Tower or some monument which is very, very special creation of by somebody. There is a whole details about the person behind that creation. That this was the architect, this was the construction company. I mean, I remember distinctly we had gone to the tallest building in the world, the Burj Al Arab in Dubai. It's the tallest building in the world. And so many details are given about the company, how it really functioned. And it is glorious because somebody who could actually create this. Now, how glorious it is that somebody has created this whole universe. I mean, can you imagine that it works with absolute precision for millions of years? There's never a time where the sun says, "Oh, I forgot to rise." What happened? Why is this not happening? Why is it sudden? Why is everything is with precision? Right? The whole creation with such precision, and then we understand, my God, who is the person behind the creator? Yes, we have the secondary creator in Lord Brahma, but the original creator is Krishna himself. He just glances. Just by his glance, everything happens. So it is very important to understand, and we would be, going through some discussion about what are these 9 different types of creation. I'm sure all of you would like to know, right? What are these 9 creations? What does Krishna do with these different types of creations? It is good to know, because the more we know about Krishna, the more we get attracted to him. My goodness, the same Krishna who is so glorious, who does all sorts of very phenomenal activities, is available in the holy name. And the same power of this great Krishna, and the more we know the greatness of Krishna, the more we understand that great personality is all available when I chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. All that power of Krishna is within the holy names. Nam Akari Bahuda Nida Sarva Saktish. Krishna Mahaprabhu says that the holy name of Krishna has all the powers, all the energies. And that too, tatrarpita niyamitan smarana kala. There are no even hard and fast rules. So you can imagine, my goodness, there's so much fortunate I am that I have something most powerful with me. And there are not even hard and fast rules. I can chant the way I want. Any time of the day. Of course, ideally chant in this Brahma Murta. But it's available whenever you want, it is there. So that is the purpose why these details are given. The more we know the glory of Krishna, the more we will be able to love him. And the more we will love ourselves less. Because what is it? There are two ways to become humble. One is that, you find somebody here and you are here. If this grows, then you become smaller and smaller and smaller, right? In front of you. One is to become small yourself. But other is to understand somebody in front of you becomes big, automatically you become small. So the more Krishna in your eyes becomes more glorious, more details you have about the personality of Krishna, I say, my goodness, I am just so insignificant. And that's why the whole purpose of the Bhāgavatam, the whole purpose of our life is to recognize our insignificance. The moment we recognize our insignificance, that is what we want to achieve in Krishna consciousness. So there are 9 types of creations, and this is called the Prakrita Sarga. So the first is Mahatattva Sarga. Sarga, as we learned in this verse, Sarga means creation, right? So just keep that word in mind. Sarga means creation. We are going to talk about the 5 creations done by the Lord himself. Okay? The first is Mahatattva Sarga, the great creation, the first stage where the total material energy is manifested. The first is Mahatattva Sarga, where the total material energy is manifested. The second is, after manifestation of material energy comes the Ahankar Sarga, the creation of false ego. Just see how structured it is. The second is Ahankar Sarga, where false ego arises from the Mahatattva. It's very simple. Just apply your mind. The third is Tanmatra Sarga, which means the creation of the subtle elements like the sound, the touch, the form, the taste. So first I said is Mahatattva Sarga, the manifestation of all the Mahatattva, all the total material energy. Second is Ahankar Sarga, where the manifestation of the false ego. The third is Tanmatra Sarga, which is the manifestation of all the subtle elements. The fourth is Bhuta Sarga, which is the creation of the gross elements. So one is subtle elements are created, then we have the gross elements in the form of earth, water, fire, air and ether. And the fifth is Indriya Sarga, which is the creation of senses. So the 5 knowledge acquiring senses and the 5 working senses. And the presiding demigods of these senses are created by the Lord. That means each sense, there is a presiding deity. And that is created. So let's quickly, one is Mahatattva Sarga, then comes Ahankar Sarga, then comes Tanmatra Sarga, fourth is Bhuta Sarga, and fifth is Indriya Sarga. So this is directly created by our loving Lord Sri Krishna. He directly intervenes. He's part of this creation, then he hands on. Okay, the next 4, Lord Brahma, you do it. So he passes on to the secondary creator, Lord Brahma, and he creates the next 4 creations. The next 4 is Mukhya Sarga, the creation of the immovable beings like the trees, the creepers, the plants. The second is Triyaka Sarga, that means all the reptiles, birds, insects, fishes, animals have been created. These are the creation in the mode of ignorance. The third is Urdhva Sarga, which is the creation of the heavenly beings like the demigods and the devas and the rishis by Lord Brahma. And the fourth is Avrikshotra Sarga, which means creation of human beings like all of us. We are created people with balanced senses and free will. So Lord Brahma creates these 4 things. One is creation of trees and plants. We see them all around. Second is creation of reptiles and other animals. The third is creation of the demigods. And the fourth is creation of human beings. Very simple, right? But you see the way these 9 different creations are done. It has to be there because we see them in the creation. And then the verse mentions that there are 3 types of pralayas or annihilations. Now the amazing thing, the first line Prabhupada makes it very, very wonderful because that's the whole purpose to understand. The first line itself on the purport, Prabhupada says, the scheduled creations and the annihilations takes place in the terms of the supreme will. So we clearly know who is the boss, who is the authority, is Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. It's all happening by His will. Okay? So, doesn't this show that Krishna is Supreme Controller? Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So when you say Anadir Adir Govinda, that verse should have some understanding in your mind. What does it mean to be Sarva Karana Karanam? So when we know those details, Sarva Karana Karanam means that Krishna is the creator of the 9 different types of sargas. Wow! So there is some substance to support what Lord Brahma is saying. Isn't knowledge so important for all of us to understand, right? So now the 3 times of annihilations is very interesting. One is, the first type of annihilation is Naimittika Pralay, which means occasional dissolution or annihilation at the end of the day of Lord Brahma, which happens every 4.32 billion years. There is a partial annihilation. The second is Prakrita Pralay, which means it's a complete universal dissolution after the 100 years of Lord Brahma's life. How many years are that? 3.11 trillion years. There's a complete dissolution of which takes place. And the third, and which is the most relevant to all of us, is the Atyantika Pralay, which is when a Jiva soul achieves liberation from false ego. It is very individual type of Pralay. Did we know that? That there is a third type of Pralay which is so relevant to all. That's all we are all trying to create this Pralay in our life. With other two, we don't even know where we will be. I mean, what happens, we don't know. But the third one, what is the third one? It's Atyantika Pralay, which means it's the ultimate final annihilation of the Jiva soul from the bondage of false ego, where he gets liberated from all the material elements, from all the subtle elements, and he gets liberated and realizes Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nitya Das, that I am the eternal servant of Lord Krishna. That is the pralay which happens in our life, which is so wonderful, and that's what we all are trying to achieve. So that's so just to give you, I was trying to say that, okay, let's how to understand this in a simple terms, right? So suppose we understand a drop of water in the ocean, right? So if only the surface of the ocean gets evaporated temporarily, right? That's called Naimittika Pralay. If the whole ocean gets evaporated, it is Prakrita Pralay. And if one drop of that ocean leaves and never returns back, one drop, that is Atyantika Pralay. That's what all of us are trying to achieve. Makes sense? Very simple to understand. The one is this partial surface getting dried up. Other is the whole ocean getting dried up. And the third is what is so relevant to all of us. So this Atyantika Pralay is what we are going to try to speak about for some time. And there is a very interesting story which comes in the 12th Canto of Bhāgavatam. Of a very, very great personality by the name Markandeya Rishi. This gentleman lived for kalpas, not for years. And he just had a very interesting desire in his life. He met the Lord in front of him. He was face to face. There's a whole beautiful tapasya. He was staying, in the Himalayas mountains and performing very, very wonderful sadhana. And he was face to face with the Lord. And I said, my dear Lord, I have had a very, very intense desire. I said, what is your desire? Please ask. I said, I want to understand what is the power of your illusory energy. Now, please, none of us should even dare to ask this, because the Lord asked him, are you sure? Yes, I want to see the power of illusory energy. The Lord said, so be it. And then, of course, the Lord went and he started doing his normal duties of life. He was doing sadhana, he was doing his... I was waiting, how will the Lord fulfill my desire? And couple of... some time passed, not mentioned how long, some time passed, and suddenly, one fine day, just imagine he was doing maybe arati or whatever sadhana he was doing, and he's explaining the Bhāgavatam, that terrible winds started blowing. I mean, these are not just ordinary winds. These are like, the word used is bhayankar, the word used. Terrible winds started blowing, and terrible sound, heart-shattering sounds started coming. And from all the four sides, the ocean started swelling in no time. It's scary, right? You are just here. I mean, I don't know how many of you have experienced this. In Mumbai, we get this torrential rain sometimes. Once in a year, you do get that sort of rains, where everything is just underwater. For days, the trains, the roads are all, there's just so much deluge of water there. And sometimes you feel scared. I said, so it just rises, and things just flood everywhere. People who are staying on the lower side, they really have to really run. But that is just slowly rising. But just suddenly, the ocean, like, how many of you have been to Jagannath Puri? Right? We have been to Jagannath Puri ocean, right? And we want to be there, and it's so nice fun. But, and you're playing in the ocean, you are just playing with the waves, and we have seen, but Jagannath Puri ocean is very, very unpredictable, right? And suddenly one huge waves come and it just boom, throws you out. And you see it's coming like, is just galloping towards you. And then this is not normal. And it just poof, throws you. But that is still normal because it's not one of those storm type waves. Hopefully none of us have experienced that. But this ocean from all sides, and the ocean with terrible sea monsters, fearful whirlpools and ominous rumblings, in all sorts of signs of dissolution started happening. And everything that he saw from within his sight was fully deluded, fully underwater. And he was tossing and turning, and the sages, and there was nothing that he could see. The rains pouring down from clouds filled the ocean more and more. So there was water down, there was water up, and it was not raining. It was not raining like, we say it's raining like cats and dogs. That's the phrase we use, right? It was raining pillars. Pillars of rain. In a matter of seconds, everything gets submerged. Just imagine this situation. And then the water inundated the earth, the outer space, the heavens, and the celestial regions. When this happens, I think none of us are going to be around, but it's best to just hear about it. Because I don't think we will ever experience this sort of the power of Krishna's creation in this form. And for millions of years, Markandeya Rishi was tossing and turning in this water. For millions of years, my dear friends. He was hungry. He was thirsty. He was tossing the waters, just water from down, water from top, sounds, monstrous creatures in the water trying to save himself. And he was like exhausted. I said, what's happening? And it was going on as if there is no end. Just on and on and on and on and on. Countless millions of years passed as Markandeya wandered about in that deluge, his mind bewildered by the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu. So he was, it is unending. And then what happened? Exactly the right time for the deities to go. Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand Ji ki. So as Markandeya Rishi was just not able to see anything, the darshans were closed. There was no darshan, there was just water everywhere. And then I would like to read this translation. It is beautiful. And then what did he see? It's on a branch of a northeast portion of that tree, there's a banyan tree which were bearing blossoms and fruits. An infant dark blue complexioned boy, his lotus face shone with a wealth of beauty, and his throat bore marks like the lines on the conch shell. He had a broad chest. There was a tiny little baby as under the banyan tree, on the leaf of a banyan tree. And he could see that beautiful child who was dark blue complexioned. His throat bore marks like the lines on a conch shell. He had a broad chest, a finely shaped nose, beautiful eyebrows, and lovely ears that resembled pomegranate flowers, and that had inner folds like a conch shell spirals. The corners of his eyes were reddish like the whirl of a lotus, and the effulgence of his coral-like lips slightly reddened the nectarine, enchanting smile on his face. As he breathed, please hear this, as he was breathing, his splendid hair trembled, and his deep navel, being distorted by the moving folds of the skin of his abdomen, resembled a banyan leaf. So the Markandeya was seeing this. And that right in front of Markandeya Rishi, what did the child do? He took his feet, the toes of his feet, and started sucking his toe. And when he saw this, he was so very attracted to this. He swam there, and he was having darshan of this form of the Lord. It is explained, the Balam Mukundam, Vatasta Patra. It was on the banyan leaf that the child was sucking his. I think we have seen this, a famous photograph where the child was sucking, and he saw this, and he was so attracted, and the child was just inhaling and exhaling, right? That's why the child was breathing, and the moment he inhaled, Markandeya Rishi right went into his body. Everything went inside, and within his body, he could see everything. He could see the whole universe. He could see the skies, the heavens, the earth, the oceans, the great islands, his own Himalayan mountains, his hermitage. Everything he could see it within the child's body. And then he could see himself. And then when he exhaled, he came out. And in matter of no time, everything became normal. There was no oceans, nothing. What had happened, Prabhus, is that for just a second, Krishna showed him the power of his illusory energy. And within that 1 second, Krishna gave him an experience of millions of years of what it means to experience this illusory energy, where he was tossing and turning him and all the oceans and everywhere battering him. And Markandeya Rishi could understand, this was the power of the Lord's illusory energy. And by that, it helped him to achieve his Atyantika Pralay. Even though he saw the dissolution, but by that he got the realization that how insignificant he is, and how glorious is the Lord. And his love of God grew in his heart. And that was the beginning of his Atyantika Pralaya, where he started slowly recognizing, getting freed from his own ego and realizing the Lord's ego. So this Atyantika Pralaya is something which we all want to be achieving. And how do we really achieve this? And there are 3 steps in our life. The first step is letting go of the doer mentality. Most of the time, we feel that I am the doer of all the activities. So, one of the beautiful stories by which we can slowly, beautifully understand how a person attained the Atyantika Pralaya, or his self-realization, is in the form of Gajendra. The Shastra explained that it is a beautiful step-by-step process, the way it happened for Gajendra. Gajendra ji was a powerful elephant. He was the king of the elephants. And he was caught by the crocodile. And first he was trying to really struggle himself. And the fight with the crocodile went on for years. How long was the fight, by the way? For thousands of years? Thousands celestial years. He was fighting, because he knew that he thought, rather, he didn't know it, but he thought he was the doer. And he could really free himself from the grip of the crocodile. But at one point of time, he realized that, well, it is beyond me. So first is to letting go of the doer mentality. The moment, till the time we think that we are the doers, and how many times we think that we are the doers? We say Krishna is the doer. But what is our real mentality? So Gajendra actually had to be convinced. He actually experienced that he's not the doer. And he said, now he just took the lotus flower with his trunk and he just offered it to the Lord and said, oh Krishna, please protect me. The second is recognition of our helplessness or karpanya. To understand our very, very insignificant position. That's where Gajendra realized that I might be a king, everybody else around respects me, is just pumping my false ego. But actually I'm insignificant. I cannot do anything right now. And he stopped thinking that he is the doer. Then in his karpanya, he offered the flower to the Lord and said, Lord, please protect me. And then he chanted the holy names of the Lord with great humility. So first is to give up the doer mentality. Second is to understand our insignificance. And with that thing happening, we will naturally be able to chant the holy names of the Lord with great humility. And with that happening, we can easily achieve this particular Atyantika Pralaya in our life. Lord Brahma, he was, obviously you can imagine if, for those who are doing some sort of management, and we all are trying to do some management in some way, either in our own lives or in spiritual activities. And we get so engrossed with those managerial responsibilities. Can you imagine the managerial responsibilities of Lord Brahma, the secondary creator? He was just so heavily into management, managing the whole universe. So he wanted to get this experience of getting rid of that managerial responsibilities, and that's why he decided to come in the form of Haridas Thakur. He said, I want to really achieve these 3 stages of knowing that I'm, for Lord Brahma to feel that he's not the doer is very difficult. To the extent you are a big manager, to that extent you say, but how can I not be the doer? Because I am doing so many things. Within our own small selves, it is so difficult. What to talk of Lord Brahma? For Lord Brahma to be convinced I'm not the doer is very difficult. Because there's nobody else who says, you know what, you are not doer, I am doing the doer. But there's nobody else greater than him. For him, it's very difficult. He said, for me to really achieve that situation of being completely liberated. Because he's also a Jiva soul after all, right? So he said, I want to really feel karpanya, I want to really feel insignificant. For Lord Brahma to feel insignificant, very difficult. He is the overall boss of the whole creation. He's the supreme, he's the secondary creator. How does he feel insignificant? Of course, we have this beautiful story, right? Where Lord Brahma, our Brahma, four-headed Brahma, went to meet Krishna. And he said that, tell Krishna I'm come to meet. So Krishna sent the doorkeeper, said, which Brahma is this? So the Brahma said, what do you mean, which Brahma? And the most special thing that he had is what we say, right? Sometimes there's who are you? I say, I am that brahmachari, so-and-so. Because you feel that, I'm recognized as a brahmachari, I'm this sannyasi, whatever. So Brahma, what was the special thing about Brahma? The four heads. They said, tell him the four-headed Brahma has come. Because you usually speak of things that you are proud of because what you have unique in yourself. The Brahma said, this is unique, so I'm four-headed, tell him. So he went, and of course we know we had Brahmas with 4 heads, 8 heads, 16 heads, 64 heads, 128 heads, and there. And then Brahma could realize, oh my God, I'm the most smallest, the most insignificant Brahma that I am in. But otherwise, in general, it is very difficult for Lord Brahma to feel insignificant. And the most important is, with that insignificance and with that non-doer mentality, he actually wanted to experience the bliss of chanting with Trinadapi Sunichena feeling, the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He wanted to experience how to chant. So Lord Brahma decided to come as in the form of Haridas Thakur, completely unknown family lineage, coming from a fallen background. And the only thing he wanted to do is just chant Hare Krishna. No managerial, you don't see if you see Chaitanya Chidamrit, you don't see Haridas Thakur except for going for preaching with Nityananda Prabhu. You don't see much much of management. He was just wanting to chant Hare Krishna. Right? So that is what the Acharyas are teaching us, that ultimately we all are trying to achieve this sort of a pralay in our life. And that is the purpose of our sadhana. That is the purpose of Krishna consciousness. And of course, this sort of a situation is very, very difficult to understand, because we have been trying to live with that ego for millions of years. But only by the blessings of the spiritual masters in our life, and by making the order of our spiritual master as our life and soul, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Koryo Akya Arana Koryo Mane Asha. And when you make the order of the spiritual master as for life and soul, and you are dedicated as an instrument in his hands, not as the doer, but whatever we do, we realize that I am simply an instrument in his hands. We are nobody without his mercy. We have this famous story which we always say, that the rat approached the sadhu and said, please make me a cat. And the cat again approached the sadhu, please, I'm scared of the dogs, please make me a dog. And the dog again was scared of the roaring of the lion around. He said, please make me a lion. And the lion comes in front of the sadhu and says, oh, you are the sadhu, I'm going to devour. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says, Punar Mushika Bhava, again become a rat. Very, very nice story. Feels like it is for small children, and this, nice story. How the rat became a lion became a rat. But it is such a profound, heavily loaded, realized story for all of us. Because by nature, my dear friends, we are all like squeaking rats, insignificant. That's what we are. Prabhupada said it. What's that? The most fallen. Prabhupada said you are most nothing. You are simply insignificant. So we should know it. It's not that anybody has to convince us, but we are insignificant. But because of the blessings of the sadhu in our life, the spiritual master in our life, our guides in our life, we may be doing activities which are like lions. We may be doing Herculean tasks. But that is all happening because of the blessings of the sadhu in our life. And the moment we think that this is our own, it doesn't take much time for the sadhu to withdraw the blessings, and again we become a squeaking rat. And it has happened. We can become very ordinary. Right? So, That's the purpose. So if we follow the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual masters, and we act 100% as far as possible with sanity, knowing that I'm simply a via media, as Prabhupada said, I'm a postal peon. I'm simply doing some activity on behalf. I'm simply a trustee of whatever activities I'm doing. I'm never the owner of whatever I have. In that mentality of non-doership and the mentality of Karpanya, then we'll be able to chant the holy names, and that's what we all are aspiring for, to chant the holy names in the humble state of mind, right? So that will not happen unless until this particular feeling comes, and that is what we can understand from this beautiful verse, which is explaining the glories of Krishna being such a powerful creator and an annihilator, and the way he very well structures the whole creation and the annihilation. And what is most relevant for us is this Atyantika Pralay that we are all trying to aspire for, where that one fine day, as I said, when will that day come for all of us? That one fine day where we will get released from this bondage of false ego that we are all constantly working under. And we'll get liberated, like the drop, as I said, the drop getting liberated from the ocean and never to come back again. And where we can operate purely on the spiritual platform. So that's the teaching of this verse. Thank you very, very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Sometimes it happens is that when we develop a particular skill, we think that I am super expert in this, and as a result of that, false pride develops. So should we try to cultivate new skills or not? Or what should be the mindset when we are doing so?
That is why we should obviously cultivate new skills, because the more we are skilled in Krishna's service, the more we can do the service. But Krishna clearly says that I am the strength of the strong, I am the intelligence of intelligent, I am the ability in man. When you say ability in man, and Krishna is very clearly, without any gray area, is black and white, that I am the ability in man. So whatever skills we have, it is simply a gift of Krishna to us, and given to us to serve Him and His wonderful devotees. So just because we want to be somewhat humble, or we want to be humble and say, well, if I get skills, I'll become proud and I will not take those skills. That's not the way we do things. But we want to serve Krishna in the maximum way we can, by being the best we can in our field, but knowing very well, reminding yourself very well. That's why we need friends who will also remind us. When we discuss what does it mean to do Krishna Katha, Matchita Gamadagada Prana, Bodhyantascha Parasparam Katyantascha Mam Nityam Tushanti Cha Ramanti Cha. Why? What is Krishna saying there? What is the activities of two devotees? That they talk about me. But what do they talk? To remind each other that, you know what? Krishna is the doer. We are simply recipients of Krishna's mercy. So once we are in that spirit, Prabhu, then we should acquire whatever competencies, whatever skills we can possibly get. In fact, if you have a service and you are not adequately skilled, then you should strive to achieve the skill so that you can do that service the best, because we want to offer Krishna the best. But at the same time, having a feeling that, well, Krishna, thank you so much for giving this skill. I was offering, but like for example, offering the water of the Ganges back to the Ganges. That's what we do, right? You offer. We don't get water from. We take the water. We offer our love, our prayers, and then we offer it back to the Ganges. So same thing. Krishna's skills Krishna skills which is within us, we offer, but we put our love in it and offer it back to Krishna. And that's the way to do it. Hare Krishna. Any other questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. In a story of Markandeya Rishi, and I always had a problem to connect how like when he was asking how illusory energy works, then that Lord showed him this particular way of creation as illusory energy, because obviously the world is created and he engages the Brahma to create, and we exist. It's not like some philosophy said that everything is dream and illusion. And he showed him that particular, whenever I read this passage, I cannot tune into that way of showing that this is actually illusory energy, how it works, because obviously creation, dissolution is not illusion. Illusion means that which is not. So
no, the thing which is important to understand is that whole experience which Markandeya Rishi had was within 1 second. So he gave an experience of the whole dissolution. And what had actually passed time was only 1 second. So Krishna, the whole thing was illusory. It was not actually there, but he gave an experience to Markandeya that it is happening. Are you getting it? So that's how it was an illusory display of Krishna's illusory energy, because as far as we understand, we are reading what Markandeya experienced. But actually, when he came out back from Krishna's body and he saw everything was finished, what had passed was only 1 second. Krishna did everything in that 1 second. Can you imagine something like this happening? That, in a second, a person experiences what has happened for millions of years. He was tossing and turning for millions of years. So Krishna gave an experience, this is the power of my illusory energy. And it was simply a small display of it, by the way. It was not even his complete illusory energy. Makes sense? So the creation is not illusory. It's temporary. It's all illusory. But the experience that Markandeya Rishi had was illusory, because that's the way Krishna created it.
obviously it's illusion because I don't understand.
So sometimes you may not understand everything. We just accept it. Okay, thank you so much. Grantraj Śrimad Bhāgavatam ki, Shri Radha Gokulanand ji ki. Hare Krishna.
तीन प्लेट बनाओ भाई. उनकी वाइफ के लिए. ठीक है, मैं आऊँगा.
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama,